Hi, and welcome to my second devlog video. In this week, there were a lot of things I wanted to focus on, and the first thing that I wanted to get out of the way was the first person and third person perspectives on the player. I spent a lot of time in Blender trying to figure out how to approach this. The problem was that because the arm was fixed to the camera, if I just rotated the arm with the same rotation of the camera, the result would look weird and the player wouldn't be able to see the hand at all times. So what I decided to do is to separate the arm from the rest of the rig. So if you're looking around, the arm would stay in front of the camera and the rest of the rig would follow along with the same rotation and position. This turned out to be the quickest and simplest solution. I was happy with the result and it looked smooth. Next, I wanted to give a little wobble effect on the chef's hat when you look around. I achieved this by adding hinge joints on the bones on the top of the hat. The key here is to add a large spring value on the hinge and limit the rotation on 90 degrees so that it isn't too much. And this is what it looked like together. I then started to work on the colliders within my scene so that you can put your hand in places where you have to access and store the food. Because this is a mobile game, I had to refrain from using mesh colliders with convex shapes and use box colliders wherever I could. Using convex colliders are okay if you only have a few objects and not 1,000 with all physics on them. After that, I could start programming the logic of some of the foods. My plan is to have dedicated areas that will enable you to do certain tasks. A cutting board, well, you have to, chop the food. A building board, well, you have to place and build the meals. And then finally a tray where you have to place everything that is needed for the order and smack the bell whenever you're done. This will prevent some imbalance and create a more challenging experience, I think. Well, let me know what you guys think. I then made a simple script that makes foods that can be cut on the cutting board stick to the board with a fixed joint, and you can break them off by applying a little bit of force or picking them up. This makes it easy to cut them so they aren't flying everywhere when you're trying to cut them. I also did this with the pan so that you wouldn't knock it off while cooking. I then added individual slices if you hit the food hard enough for about 5 times. I want the player to do the movement of cutting when they slice things. I think this makes it more interactive and fun. Right now, there are 5 types of meals you'll be able to make: a hamburger, hot dog, pie, pizza, and a soda. I definitely want to add more, but for now I think it's a good start. I then started to make the logic for the dough. It will be used to make the pie and pizza. I created a roller pin that will be used to smack the dough, and as you hit it, it will flatten and cycle through the different models. I want the dough to be flexible in a way so that you can throw it back on the board to make it a ball again. This was really fun to do, and I played around with the mechanic for a little while. So I didn't think I would have a logo for the game so early on in development, but with the help of my talented girlfriend, we were able to make a really cool design. She did most of the work, and so here it is. If I were to visualize the idea of the game, this image would present it in the best way. I think the design colors blend nicely with the concept. The design started as a ketchup and mustardy look, and we just improved on it over time, changing things here and there until the composition looked good. And to be honest, I don't think I would have come up with this idea on my own. I was really eager to put the logo on some of the props in the game to see what it would look like. It definitely makes it more interesting. I started playing around in Unity to see where the logo would best fit in the menu, and so far it looked great. But it looked kind of boring just sitting there and not moving, so I decided to animate it in Blender. I wanted the elements on the logo to pop out, like squishing and stretching. And there you go, it was done. I had a lot of fun making this animation and it came out pretty good. I still want to have all the letters and elements dangle a bit with a loop animation, but for now I think this will do. I then went on to make a blend shader for the frying pan to indicate when it's hot and on the stove. I also wanted to be able to pick up the telephone and slam it back so that it would snap in place. I'm not entirely sure what the phone will be used for, but my plan is to have it call the other player as an annoying ring, and if they pick it up, the players will be able to talk to one another. If you guys have any cool ideas, let me know in the comments. I also added sounds to the telephone, and it's pretty satisfying to use it. Next, I was ready to start building the hamburgers. If the player hits the food with the knife on the cutting board, the individual slices would spawn in, and you can take them and throw them on the bun of the burger. I first tried instantiating them on the position of the food, but then realized that I would be creating a lot of instances which isn't most preferable in any game. Creating objects is quite performance heavy, so I decided to have the slices already in the object, but as children, and just to have them activated whenever I need to. Once I was done with the slices, I started making the logic of the burger. I was unsure how to make all the items of the burger to snap to one another. I guess in some cooking games I've seen, the items have snapping points to build them on top of each other. When I modeled the burger, I placed all the items where I thought they looked best, with a certain order, so I knew where all the pieces' positions would be in the hierarchy. I then checked for collisions with a certain name, and if the name correlates with the burger and is next in line to be added, it snaps in position. This way worked, but it was kind of repetitive because you would build the same burger each time. I didn't want to change it because I knew if it was randomized, the result might look messy. I'm planning to change it in the future to be more random, but with a few conditions. But that's really going to be it for this week's episode. I'll be trying to upload weekly to keep you guys updated on the progress and keep it as interesting as possible. I also made a Discord server where I'll be posting regular updates and funny or interesting things about the game. So yeah, feel free to join there if you're interested. You can find the link below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this week's devlog, and thank you so much for watching, it really helps me a lot. If you have any feedback, please feel free to let me know, and like and subscribe if you're new. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!